Fly so much higher. Fly so much higher.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Go4LoL. Our next game is between Enigma, their Benelux team on the blue side, and Vination Esports once again on the red side. My name, as you can see on the screen, is Benvarmeren, and as you can also see, today my co-caster is Bobby.
Here I am. Finally, we are ready into the pick and ban phase. This is going to be a really interesting game because the two teams really show it to be pretty strong, especially the Enigma Esports that we followed the last tournament and the two tournaments ago. They really are strong, but let's see how Vination is going to behave against them. Let's start from the bans phase, and it's gonna be a Janna ban from the blue team and a Kog'Maw ban for the purple team. So two bans that really are pretty normal, and well, I would really like to talk about this Kog'Maw. What do you think about this champion that really came out from nothing and just became so popular? Oh, what?
I think, yeah, top laner was bugging. Okay, anyways, the Kog'Maw. Okay. So the thing about Kog'Maw is that he's a very strong champion right now because he has so much shred, and his auto attacks can really utilize the shred because he can get up to, I think it's 5 auto attacks per second. That's 1 per 20 millisecond. It's quite a lot of auto attacks, and that's really what makes him so strong. And then he gets this 2 item power spike of the Ginsus and the Runan's Hurricane, and at that point he's really strong and he just keeps shredding. So really Kog'Maw, he's so strong because he reaches that point in the mid game where he can really just do a lot of damage, and his auto attacks is really the problem about him, and that's also why we have seen him being nerfed in the latest patch 6.4, I believe it is, where he got a attack speed nerf to his base stats of 0.40 CS, sorry, not CS, attack speed, and it is of course not quite a lot, but still it's going to hurt him a little bit.
So let's see if in this second try for the pick and ban phase, our poor guy is not going to be bugged again because he could not ban a champion, and that's pretty strange as a ban, but we can see that the 2 bans already coming out pretty fast for Janna and Kog'Maw are still those 2 bans, but obviously that was going to be the same. But still, we have Soraka ban for the blue team.
I love how Enigma, they banned the 2 supports that Granlos has been playing in the last 2 games. First the Janna, then the Soraka. So, I mean, Granlos must really love these 3 champions, because he's been folks banned in this game. I mean, both the Janna, Soraka and Alistar are all taken away from Granlos, and they have one thing in common. I mean, they can peel, or as all supports can, but it's not that interesting to look at the support bans because it's all just to counter Granlos.
Wow, this poor Granlos is not going to do nothing. Just, what the hell, really bans possibly those 3 best champions he's able to play, but wow, what a focusing ban. On the other side, we have obviously the ban onto the Kog'Maw, the ban onto the Nidalee as well, but the most important ban is the one that went overnight, and that's a Gangplank ban. So, no mid lane Gangplank, no top lane Gangplank as well.
Well, Gangplank, he got nerfed in this patch, so now he can only have 3 barrels.
Oh, hold on. It's not really a nerf, because
it is because you have to play more conservative with your barrels now. So
okay,
unless you're a good Gangplank, you're going to have a really hard time landing those barrels in team fights.
Well, the thing I do trust is that it's not that much of a nerf, because the time you are able to recharge your Q and stuff like that, the 3rd barrel is always not used that much. You use usually in a team fight 2 barrels, and you keep a 3rd one in charged. The time that you use your 2 barrels, you shoot with your Q, with the parlay, and wait the time of reload with parlay, you're able to recharge the second barrel, and you're able to shoot again the double barrel. The only thing maybe that's gonna delay you is when you use the 3 barrels combo, but that's usually used not during a team fight where any of the enemy team is able to destroy one of their barrels. But it's pretty interesting. Yes, the fact that they removed the 5 barrels combo. So, well, okay, it's not that much of a nerf in my opinion. It's still good because you have a faster reload of the barrels, but the 5th barrel is not that much of a nerf in my opinion. Let's see the picks that went out instantly. Meanwhile, about this discussion onto the gameplay, the blue team picks off a Morgana and Lucian with a Lulu that's gonna be possibly top lane. Meanwhile, we have the purple team with Kalista, Braum, Orianna and Malphite. Wow, the wombo combo is real.
And normally, most people that regularly watches the stream knows that I don't like Orianna because she is, of course, scaling. She can do a lot of damage with a shockwave, but you have to reach a 3 item power spike for that to happen. You have to have your mana regen item, a Fiend or Morello. You have to have a death cap and avoid stuff, and it takes so long to get there. But in this composition where you're really going for that Wombo combo with the face call, Malphite, Braum, everything, I mean, it kinda just opens up for Orianna to just land the shockwaves. Okay, so in this composition, it's pretty obvious that she's going to have a good time.
He is going to have a really good time because wombo combo here is real. We have Malphite and Braum coming so much with this Orianna that's really impossible to predict which of the two is going to be the front line during the team fights. But let's see, especially the fact that the blue team decided to go with a good disengage composition because you have a Morgana and the Lulu, but especially you have the Gragas that's possibly going to be the jungler for the team. And it's pretty interesting to see how the blue team decided to go and pick those champion up against such a wombo combo for the purple team. Now to the top lane is going to fight against Malphite. Jungler is going to be Gragas up on a Graves, so 2 completely different style of jungling. And up in the mid lane we have the Lulu up against Orianna, another pretty interesting combo. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane with Lucian and Morgana going up against the Braum and Kalista, I will really look forward to see how Tiger's Head is going to behave up against Himmelreiter, or what the hell his name is, Himmelreiter, right?
That is indeed how you pronounce it, but we are in the 3-minute delay, so we'll take a short break, and when we return we'll have this amazing game, hopefully on our hands, and don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Now it's just like, man, you got to have that time where you just like disconnect from the scene, just the race, like, and it's a race that I've created in my head, you know. But you have to step away from it.
honestly, try honesty. No, just tell me what I want to hear, 'cause it could save us. Let me fly, I've got my hopes, but I can hardly see why I'm still chasing. It's not worth it for me anymore. Crashed and burned 100 times, I'm lost. I just can't let this go. Every last chance I had is gone, but I just can't let you know. I just can't let you know. But I just can't let you know.
And we are now in game in this quarterfinal between Enigma Esports on the blue side and Vination Esports on the red side. Two esports team, quite a hard name to pronounce. But as you might already know, my name is Benvarmeren and I'm joined by Bobby again this week.
So, being in game is a big word, because we are not in game actually, because there is a pause. A pause that started off from the blue team, I see. Yes, from the blue team, Enigma Esports issuing problem with their microphones. So let's wait for them to fix that. Let's go and check out at least what did Lucian buy, because only Lucian managed to be able to buy something that fast. But
well, we can talk a little bit about the team compositions, because it is two it's two different team compositions. Because on Enigma Esports side, you have this protected Lucian composition, where you just want to have Tiger sets carry, like we saw in the first game, where Lucian was just a hyper carry that was supposed to do all the damage, and he has the base foundation because there are a lot of peeling on the side of Enigma Esports, and they're not going to be missing any ability power damage, because you have both Lulu and Gragas who can deal that damage, because Gragas is going to go for the runic echoes and Lulu is of course going to go as an AP mid laner. And then on the side of Vination, we have more of a Wombo combo, where you just want to have Malphite engage, follow up with Brom's ultimate, the Glacial Fissure, and face call into that. Oriana's Shockwave, Gragas' collateral damage, sorry not Gragas' Graves' collateral damage. So you just want to do this big Wombo combo, and I mean, it shouldn't be too hard to do it, of course, but still, if they don't do it correctly, they will dig themselves a hole where they won't have enough damage.
And it's really going to be interesting to see the laning phase for both teams, because as we know, Malphite, Oriana, both of them are not strong in the laning phase. They are pretty passive in this laning phase, especially Malphite after the nerf they have done on his E. He doesn't really deal that much of damage, and he could before, so maxing the E as first item is not that much of a nice choice anymore. We have to remember that even Graves has been nerfed heavily in the last patches, because especially the damage he could deal with the Q, bouncing off a wall, it was really strong. Too strong for any anyone in the game. Not only in the early game, but especially in the mid game, where he could deal so much damage to one-on-one a Fiora and explode her in no time, literally. I've seen so many one-on-ones with this champion that I can tell for sure it was very good to see his nerf coming out. And the game finally started. The Enigma Esports managed to fix their microphone problem, so let's head into the game that it's hitting now the 30 minutes mark, 30 seconds mark. Wow, 30 minutes. We're ready. Finish the game, guys. What the hell?
Well, I guess now that we are finally heading into the game, I'd like to talk a little bit about the top laners, because you do have two tanks, Finnick on the Malphite and Bripo on the Nautilus, and I expect both of these top laners to go for both a CC Rust Portal and a Sunfire, because those two items are so strong, and the game is so much about having the pressure, having the momentum going for yourself from the get-go. And if you get the CC Rust Portal and the Sunfire, you already have that split pushing going for you, especially because CC Rust is designed to be a split push item. And then the Sunfire has been buffed in a few patches ago, where it received 50% bonus damage to minions. So split pushing is really the name of the game for top laners right now in this meta.
So Graves starting off with the Maceda, while we have Gragas with the Talisman, so pretty normal start for the two of them. We have to say that poke from Lulu forced Graves to start with just barely a little less HP, but that's not gonna hurt too much. Oh, we have a pretty impressive play from the blue team. Binding going on to the Kalista, forcing them to fall back and even getting a lot of damage from that Grom. So red team really got cornered there. Pretty good move from the Enigma Esports.
Definitely a good move from Enigma Esports, because this means that they have now delayed the Gromp, and they weren't even able to take up the Gromp on Vination Esports side, so they delayed that, and they now also have the lead in the bottom lane, because Himmelraider, he took a lot of damage, he weren't able to get his level 2, and he's just being zoned off of the minions. So right now, Enigma Esports, I talked about how momentum is the name of the game. They have the momentum, at least in the bottom lane.
In the middle lane, meanwhile, Orianna and Lulu exchanging some damage, but not that much. The pressure from this Lucian is a lot, and manages him to dodge that Q from Braum. So much the pressure from this Lucian. Right now, that Kalista is going really to have a bad time. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the Nautilus is going pretty aggressive, but plays pushing not that too much, but still enough to make some pressure. Graves cleaning up the jungle camps as Gragas is actually doing, so nothing really particular coming out from those two. Even if there is, he points out that Graves right now has no mana at all, so he really needs that blue buff that currently has been even warded by that Morgana that is playing so aggressive. So Graves really having a bad time even on seeing the blue buff, but he manages to take it, so nothing really particular coming out from this play.
Tambo indeed needs the blue buff, and the thing about junglers is that you really want to have around 150 mana whenever you go in for a gank, because that means you will have the necessary abilities if you need it. So really aim for 150 mana just to make sure that you can use your abilities. Now Tambo will go back instead, and now he also has a Tracker's Knife, so he can start getting the vision out on the map.
Whoa.
And make sure that his team's not going to be completely overrun by Enigma Esports, because if Enigma Esports they pull out ahead on any of their members really, then this game, where you just want to protect Illusion, is going to be very extremely hard for Vination to really deal with.
Graves coming out with a Vision War, so it's going to be pretty interesting into saving out not only his own jungle, because as we can see now he's counter jungling as Gragas is doing. The only problem is that Gragas will not find the wolves there, just cleaned up by Graves, and instead Graves will be able to get Gragas wolves. but the Grump is going down, so little more of counter jungling, but Gragas does know that Graves is currently on the opposite side. Nautilus going back into lane with the teleport, so keeping up the pressure onto the Malphite. That currently has a little disadvantage onto this Nautilus damage. Nautilus that went out and both double Torrent's ring. So really aggressive this Nautilus onto the Malphite in the top lane.
Going for a early power spike, a small one at least, just to make sure that he's able to bully Finnick on the Malphite, because Nautilus does have some... Oh, wait, anyway, oh, they're not going to be fighting too much, but as I was saying, Nautilus, he'd have some high base stats in his abilities, sorry. So if you get the Dorns, they're just going to be empowered, and your kid will essentially deal more damage. So now, someone like Finnick can get in a lot of trouble against Bripo.
Orianna has no health and no mana, so she cannot stay in lane. Graves now coming possibly onto the middle lane to cover it. Gragas coming from behind, trying to spot Orianna. Doesn't see her, so nothing happened by the middle lane, just a pretty aggressive push in there. Pretty aggressive enough, because we have both Gragas and Lulu really pushing heavily. Not really that much of the damage dealt onto the tower, and Orianna using her own teleport to get back into the laning phase. So, pretty nice start from this bot lane for the blue team, and as well for this Lulu is not doing really that bad onto this Orianna. The only problem is that Gragas currently is a bit behind in my opinion. Not in farm, but in vision, because Graves already countered jungle him once and pretty more heavily than Gragas has done.
That's a good point, because there are nearly no vision on the side of Enigma Esports on the map right now, so they could definitely use the Tracker's Knife that Stinson has just bought. So vision can slowly come out, and now they just need the two supports to go back and get their side stones as well, and then vision will slowly roll out of there. And I had a thought just before, but I just lost it.
Very nice. Okay, I let you recover your thought. Meanwhile, we can see that in this Gragas going for the blue buff, possibly letting it to the Lulu, right? And he's going right now to get it pretty easily. Not spotting the pink word right there, but still getting a blue buff, so good for them. Meanwhile, in the top lane, this Nautilus keeping up the aggressiveness, because we have this Malphite, no mana, and not too much health as well. Forced to go back as well. But there is a Graves that's coming, or at least not that forced, he was going back but decided to stay. There is a Graves by the top lane right now, so he can stay actually. Vision coming out now from this Gragas into the top lane side jungle of the red team. Gragas now spotted by Graves, but not damaging, not too much damage, or trading out each other.
I have recovered my thought.
Nice.
What I wanted to say is that Bench Blue King is falling behind in terms of farm, and that's going to hurt Vination, because they have this idea of the Wombo combo they want to play out in the late game. So right now, with Orianna falling behind, the power curve of the team is going to be slightly delayed, and that's just going to be harder for them to really get that Wombo combo out that they are looking for. And I mean, Tiger's Head, he knows that A, he's the one that has to carry, and B, that the Wombo combo of Vination has been delayed. Therefore, he can get a call and he can just farm his way out of there, because now, once he reaches once he gets 90 more CS, that's the point where he's going to cash in that call, and he's going to have a lot of gold in the bank.
Well, Shockwave coming out from this Orianna into middle lane, but not too much damage onto this Lulu that still decides to remain and not even use any of her own spells or abilities, just poking down with the Q, but not that much be dealing with, so pretty interesting there. And in the top lane, meanwhile, this Nautilus really aggressive onto the Malphite. So that much of damage just coming up from a single Nautilus is really a lot. It's really interesting to see the blue team. Every lane of the blue team is advantage onto the farm. Oh, meanwhile, in the middle lane, the combo coming out from this Gragas flashing and missing just a bit. Barely alive this Orianna. Meanwhile, in the top lane, this Malphite brings almost down the Nautilus onto the tower because he got the tower aggro. Nautilus getting out barely alive, but he just wasted the flash in my opinion because Malphite had no mana at all. And he could possibly turn back on him. But he did not, he was not sure about that and just decided to go back and flash away.
It's better safe than sorry, that's really all I can say, because in the end he might have been allowed to pick up the kill if Finnick just kept going. I mean, or 2 auto attacks in my opinion would have been enough, I'm pretty sure. So in the end it's better to flash than to die. And now, once again, in the mid lane, now he's behind 28 minions, and that's so much for only being 10 minutes into the game. It's really, it's hurting Vination, and it's so good for Enigma Esports that they have picked up this Lulu that can bully bench Blue King out of the game.
Nautilus recovered, Malphite recovered a bit from this Nautilus aggressiveness. We have the Lulu, as you just say, with that farm. Damn, this Orianna really is far behind from this Lulu. Lulu that already completed the Morale Nomicon, so it's pretty strong item by the early game, as we can see it. Right now, onto the Orianna. Oh, the Gragas spots the Graves, and the combo goes in. But the current control is not enough to keep him in place and let the Lulu get there.
It's definitely not enough. Now, Gragas is in the bottom lane.
Whoa!
Oh,
Gragas Spiral is enough, but there is Kallista's ultimate right there, so nothing happens. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we have Nautilus. Oh, manages to get the Q onto the Malphite. Pretty risking there.
But Malphite do have the flash and his unstoppable force if needed, so Repo should not have... Oh wait, actually there's no mana on the side of Finnick, so a flash might be needed. And we can see Tambo, he's moving to the top side just to make sure that Finnick, if needed, is going to have the backup.
And not only backup, but even the way to get out alive. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, this is Morgana. Ultimate onto the Kalista. Kalista is forced to use her flash because the calling from this Lucian was really risky to be fully landed onto Kalista as well, on her own. And this Morgana is really aggressive. I do really like how this Morgana is playing. So much damage and so much poking down. The red team really has problems dealing with her.
And another thing for the red team. Again, Orianna, she is having so much trouble. She's gone for boots. She's gone for the blasting wand. So right now, she has delayed the power spike of the Rod of Ages so much. Now, Bripo, you're coming to the bottom lane. Himmel Raider is in a lot of trouble.
He lands the anchor and the explosive damage is so much that we can say bye-bye to this Kalista.
Yeah, we can definitely say bye-bye to the Kalista, and most likely also going to say goodbye to the tower in the bottom lane. And this is going to give Enigma Esports such a huge lead already. I mean, they have around 2,400 gold in the lead, and that's, well, it's, I wouldn't say it's a lot, but it's definitely the foundation to shut down this Wombo combo. Because right now, the one that's suffering the most, Orianna, she's also one of the bigger components of the Wombo combo. So they're just getting the shutdown everywhere on the map, and the Wombo combo is just gonna have a hard time. Now, hang on a second, because Gragas is visiting the mid lane.
And wow! They swap position, the shockwave coming up from this Orianna, ultimate from Lulu, but it's not enough to save herself from the Graves ultimate, from the awesome Graves collateral damage that deals so much right now that is able to get their kill instantly. Meanwhile in the top lane, oh, this Malphite using the Subtle Force, combining the flash and getting out of the range just barely from Morgana's ultimate. No chains are able to stop this Malphite.
Beautifully played by Fortunate. He tried to flash over so that his dark chains would always be there in our soul shackles, actually it's called. But just to make sure that the soul shackles would keep on Finnick and he wouldn't be able to get away. So, beautiful played. Nearly got executed perfectly, but in the end Finnick, he had his flash, so he was able to get away. But that meant that Enigma Esports will get another kill, and now Freeman is in the bottom lane.
And Weepo, sorry, it's 1-on-3, but Gragas comes out to try and support him. Ultimate from the Kalista, taking down the kill onto the Nautilus, but Gragas is still under the tower, so they cannot get it. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Lulu, Morgana and Lucian taking down the middle lane tower, but the red team now turns onto the dragon. No, they don't. They decide to not turn onto the dragon and instead just keep on pushing by the bottom lane. This Braum and Kalista, Gragas still there, so they might not be able to get it, and they might be caught in a trap because there is a Kalista that just barely dodges Morgana's binding, so nothing done yet.
To be honest, getting the dragon. Getting the dragon wouldn't really be the best idea for Vination, because towers is really what they need right now. Because that if they could get in towers, that would mean that they would able to recover more of the gold that they have lost over to the side of Enigma. So towers is really what they have to aim for in order to stabilize their economy and to make sure that they're not going to be falling further and further behind. And finally, benched Blue King have his Rod of Ages, but despite him getting a kill, he's still so far behind.
So we have right now this Orianna pretty behind, this Lulu, more and Lamicon that's really hurting her as well. But we can see that Orianna managed to end up the Rod of Ages, another item that's pretty good at stacking into the late game, and especially the only item that currently this Orianna can use to try and recover a bit. He is not actually losing that much of farm like she was in the early phase of the game, so the Rod of Ages really is doing the job. But it's only 2 stocks ahead, so there is still a lot of time to wait before it stacks fully. Gragas, meanwhile, really recovered a lot into the game, or at least he managed to be more intense into the game, or at least intense into the presence in the wall lanes, even if he has no assists at all. He did nothing, he did everything at the same time. It's really interesting.
That is indeed a good point. Now, Repo will pick up the Skull Crab. So vision around the top side is... Oh, Hemerator! Oh, whoa, whoa!
Whoa, this Kalista goes down instantly because of the Morgana's binding, and now the Shackles stopping stopping this round. That's gonna get again knocked up and stunned by the Gragas, and he manages to get out barely alive, and just barely really stays alive. Even Graves and the rest of the red team right there in the middle lane, supporting them, trying to prevent any more deaths. But the dragon is going down to the blue team.
So once again, Enigma, they get more of an advantage. They already have 3 towers. Now they also get a dragon, and all of the advantages are slowly creeping over to their side. I mean, 1 dragon here, 1 dragon there, Little Strokes, they fell Great Oaks, and Vination, they have been a Great Oak in the first 2 games of today, but they could very well be the Great Oak that falls.
Now we have the blue team now pushing the bottom lane because that's the best target they can get. The teleport coming in from a fight. Maybe he able to get it before the tower goes down. He is possibly engaged on the blue team. On the red team, sorry. Brown's ultimate going in, but nothing really happened because Malphite did not use his unstoppable force, so nothing happened.
And I love how Enigma Esports, they're countering this Wombo combo that Vination they have built, because they're just rotating around the map. They're never grouping up and standing in the same spot. They are always on the move. They're never allowing Finnick to land his unstoppable force. They're never allowing them to get the Wombo combo.
Red team may be able to get the middle lane tower. Let's see what they're able to do. The blue team might be able to counter it. Ultimate the shockwave onto 3 people and some of the first line on Nautilus, so they prevent the most of the turns back onto the red team. A lot of damage coming out from the blue team. Lulu barely gets the kill onto the fight. And now Gragas, what are you doing? So much ahead, and Kalista's kiting back, getting the kill onto the Gragas. The blue team manages to get 1 kill, but they lose 1 person too. Oh, dodging a bit. Very nice.
1 for 1 going over to each side. And they essentially just trade a kill because Vination weren't able to get a tower. And meanwhile, we can see in the top lane, minions are pushing for Enigma Esports. So this means that they can start to pressure the mid lane, because they can now see that Tambo, he's in the top lane, and Vination are forced to use teleport. Very good trade for Enigma Esports.
The middle lane tower is just barely, or at least it's defended good by the red team. Vination is able to prevent any other pushing from the blue team. Blue team has now got a really interesting objective, at least 3 towers down, all the other towers, that's a pretty important one. But the red team might be able to take down the one in the middle lane, because simply there's too low in health. Just really 1 basic attack, come on! Come on, 1 basic attack, mate! No, you cannot do that to me! Oh wow.
Well, we might still see the perfect game coming out of Enigma Esports, well, at least in towers.
Well, it's really interesting to see how that tower still hangs in there with 47 health. And that was really just 1 hit. I did not know why Oriana could not just go in and land. It's pretty interesting because, or at least it was pretty important, because Kalista just went back and 300 gold, 200 gold free was 150 gold. 150 gold was free. Not that bad of a choice. 3 health potions really are useful in a certain phase at the start of the game. But well,
rest in pieces tower.
There you go.
Yeah, rest in pieces mid lane tower for Enigma Esports. You lived so long and you experienced so much. But now they're fighting.
Oh wow!
They're angry, the tower went down.
Going onto the graves. So much damage from the blue team onto the Kalista. It goes down. Grass taking down Brom. 1 shockwave onto only Nautilus. I did not know what the hell happened there, but the blue team, it's wrecking the red team in a team fight.
That was really ridiculous. I mean, just Reaper and Stinson in the front line. They took no damage. They're barely scratched, and there was no way for Ben's Blue King, Himmelraider, even Tambo to deal with these two, because they were just soaking up all of the damage, and Tiger said he didn't even go down. So this means that Enigma Esports still pick up a Baron. They will pick up more towers eventually, and this game is really running out of control for Vination.
Enigma Esports taking down the Baron, getting it, and that's pretty important because now they can press so much from every single side of the map. Really bad off their team fight that the red team lost. And that's pretty important too, because they used all their ultimates, the red team, but they used them so badly, or at least not so well aimed, that they failed the team fight and literally gave to the blue team, to Enigma Esports, the possibility to get this Baron that easily.
That is indeed true, but now without Vination really having too much wave clear, because they also wave clear are more or less Tambo at this point, because Ben's Blue King only have his Rod of Ages, so he's still scaling and he doesn't really bring any wave clear at this moment. So Enigma Esports, they just have to go up and start pushing. I mean, really, Finnick, you'll just get visited by Stinton that wants to kill your CC Watch portal. This is going to be a battle of giants that's going to take 7 years, but in the bottom lane, more action.
Oh, this Gragas, this Graves, that gets minded by the Morgana, and even the Kalista goes down. Meanwhile, in the top lane, wow, this Malphite, like the last game, is practically unstoppable, or at least you cannot take him down with a tank. And he's able to take down the Zizarot. The mage coming out from the Gragas is not enough to take him down, and instead Gragas is forced to pull back a bait. And wow, well, let's see how it works out. Let's see the result, because it's taking so much time. Malphite has his ultimate. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, this blue team is taking down the tower. So the inhibitor tower by the bottom lane goes down, and the inhibitor goes down as well. So, well, now we have Chase. What? You have the ultimate. Why do you need to use the flash?
And to be honest, I don't understand why Finnick kept around the top lane so long, because his team needed him in the bottom lane. You were getting just tossed around the arena. You needed to go there because you're the engage of Vination, and if you're not there, Vination needs to use their Fate's combo to fight. And I mean, you really need the Wombo combo to work quite right now, because you are slowly falling behind 10,000 gold, and if you don't pull the trigger soon, then I mean the game is practically over.
So let's see. The blue team really can use a lot of disadvantage onto the bottom lane with the inhibitor down. Meanwhile, in the middle lane and the top lane, the two inner towers are still up. So the blue team might be aiming for one of those two. Since we can see that they are all aiming onto the middle lane, they might be pushing there with the Lucian by the top lane, split pushing possibly. Let's see how they decide to come out with the pushing gear. They need to use this Baron buff that almost went out. No, it just went out. Well, so no more Baron.
They have already used it to push down the bottom lane, and now Vination, they are trying to push the middle lane, but look at the top lane. Enigma Esports, they don't care. They have a wave going for them, and this is going to be another inner turret going over to Enigma Esports, and well, they just don't care.
Wrong rotated by the red team, decided not to keep on pushing by the middle lane because they could have got one tower for one, and maybe one inhibitor for one inhibitor, because we have the blue team now pushing for the inhibitor tower, and that's gonna be possibly one of the try of engage for the red team. The red team that unluckily has the super minions in base, so the blue team can keep on pushing there. Let's see how they can use this advantage in their favor.
Exactly, just stay in the top lane, the bottom lane is pushing for you, so really, just keep pressuring around. Maybe, yeah, you can also go to the mid lane, because there isn't an inner turret there. Now, you need to force and fight, because I'm not quite sure you will crack the... You're not going to crack the base open, because still, when there aren't any super minions, the wave clear from Tambo and Bench Blue King is still going to be quite enough. And, okay, I talked about in the pick and ban phase about how I actually liked Orianna in this team composition, and normally I don't like Orianna. I don't like Orianna when she builds a Luden's Echo. Bad benched Blue King, no.
Oh wow, Luden's Echo, I did not see that really, that you cannot build on Luden's Echo onto Orianna.
No.
No, no.
I'm disappointed. That is not mad, that is disappointed.
Jeez, well, we can see Ludo decided to go on Rabadon's Death Cap as third item right after the Luden's Echo. And we have to say that currently Ludo has literally one full item, one wall item in advantage on this Orianna. Orianna that just has enough to buy one piece for any other AP item. But the situation now is risky for the red team, because we have Nautilus going in all in into this Orianna. Ultimate from Braum, Orianna going down from the wall. Blue team, some mage coming out with the pokes. Now we have Morgana's ultimate going in, chaining down this Malphite. Braum barely going out alive. Kalista's ultimate going in, Nautilus risks to go down. There is a lot of damage coming up from Kalista, flash out from Nautilus, the kill! It kills onto Graves. Wow, what the hell happened there? And that's ace for the blue team. I cannot even describe what the hell happened.
They can just go to the bottom lane. They can just go and end it there.
Because there is the wave of the super minions from the blue team, and so they are going to end this game that's even surrendered by the red team.
Very well played by Enigma Esports. They never allowed Vination Esports to bring out the Wombo combo and just demolished Enigma Esports that way. Really well played, rotating around the map, picking up objectives, picking up towers, picking up everything that they could without risking the chance of getting Wombo comboed.
Yes, indeed. Very well played by this team that denied every possibility from the red team to get out from the early game with enough damage to be able to land good wombo combos. They could not combine good enough. They could not deal enough damage at the same time to bring down the Enigma Esports that managed to get this win in. So, I gotta say goodbye, unluckily, because I have no more time to cast today. I'm really sorry if I am going to disappoint you, but this luckily will be my last cast for today. Thank you a lot for this again chance to be casting the S Cup. It's really an honor to be here with you.
No worries, Bobby. It was nice having you here. And remember, guys, if you like the casting of Bobby, you can find his link in the Twitch chat in a few moments. And from here on, I'll continue with solo casting. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back, and we'll have a semi-final on our hands with Enigma Esports. So go grab some popcorn and go grab some cola, because this is going to be amazing.
was over, till the quiet and the echoes became colder. I never really knew that it was over, till the quiet and the echoes became colder. You took my love and gave it back. It's yours to leave.